Got it.
Great, awesome. Welcome, everyone, to the 7th episode of A Time of Total Warfare, a Battletech campaign. I'm Arthur Perkins. This is APGamingREAL. Normally I talk about anime, but all I have to say is that this is the most controversial season of anime that has been ever released. And that's what I'll cover for that. Instead, let's talk about Netflix releasing a new... whatchamacallit special, a new Dave Chappelle special that I still haven't had time to watch. I'm super upset about that. That's it. That's all I got. My life's been pretty boring lately, except for blood boiling rage. Sid?
Rage. I like
how's it
rage.
going?
Rage is
I thought
good.
it was Frozen Wasteland rage.
I mean, listen, my rage rapidly shifts between flex. It can't be observed, all right? It's Schrodinger's rage.
It's a 4 seasons of rage, is really. You can't.
4 seasons of rage would probably be my anime special ability, by the way.
Say, if you're ever a front man for a band, that's what the name should be.
4
seasons of rage. Incorporated.
I want to say, by the way, no one had any negative comments over the last week for any of the Battletech videos. It's like we're slowly training our audience to treat us less shittily.
to just
lower their
all of our trespasses. Yeah. Well, they're obviously never going to get it right, so I guess this is just a fool's errand to try and correct them.
We got them trained to a good spot. Now we just now we just need to train you guys up to look competent before the clans show up.
Good luck.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
Listen, the amount of I want to see Bandito doing a bachal is it's like 4 people who have asked for that.
It's insane.
It's gonna be great.
I want to see Bandito talk to some of the Klansmen.
Damn it! Now I want to see that.
I mean, we will at some point.
I came so close to losing an arm last episode. Just throw that out there.
I mean, you might lose an actual arm.
That would be kind of cool, though.
Only if you could get it replaced with like a robotic one.
No, he'd get a really shitty, like something terrible. I'm gonna be Lieutenant Dan all up in here. Yeah,
Lieutenant Dan, you got magic walking legs.
Yeah.
All right, Sid, what do you got going on this week?
Not much, unfortunately.
Yeah,
the IRL stuff has been thoroughly kicking my ass lately. So I've had to take a step back, just breathe, and deal with the utter madness that my life has become over the past several days. Other than that, it's been kind of interesting. If you happen to be a network technician, the last 48 hours have been amazingly brutal. Dealing with Cisco VoIP discovery protocols and HP switches and all sorts of crazy madness. And yeah, I've been playing a fair amount of Overwatch to kind of alleviate some of the stress, and I got my first 27 kill, 5 golds, so I was really pleased with that.
First time, huh?
First time ever getting 5 golds.
And what, Overwatch?
Wow,
I've never gotten 5 golds before.
All right,
Roadhog.
You know, you just don't play as much as the rest of us.
With Bastion, though, of all,
that's fair. Actually, Bastion's a pretty solid character to do it with, if only because of how swingy Bastion can be.
I'd spent most of it actually up and walking around. Their poor soldier and Widowmaker were just
fucking hate them.
It just happened to be one of those matches where I was just headshotting the hell out of them.
I want to go back.
I just kept on guessing where they would be, and I guessed right every single time, and kept on catching them alone.
Let's return to several years ago when I was at my vacation in Colonial Williamsburg on the week of Halloween.
Go on.
2 days before my vacation ends, I got a notification that I was being invited to the closed beta of Overwatch second wave, which meant that I was like invited 3 days after all of the big YouTubers. Mm-hmm. So I was super excited, and I cut my vacation short a day. That was back in the day when a Reinhardt getting a 6 kill on the factory level, pushing everybody down that narrow hallway into the water, was still a play that could happen. Back then, Bastion could only pivot on a 45-degree angle, but had a 2,000-point shield.
Holy shit!
It was fucking amazing. You could just sit on top of the
that was
card and
back in the
slaughter
early
people.
days.
But
that was when I was still refusing to buy Overwatch.
I mean, you couldn't even buy Overwatch back then. It didn't come out for another year.
Oh.
Back then, tracers could just fucking flank a Bastion and literally stand just like one angle of degree outside of their range and watch the Bastion spray all around them and then sit there and away them until they died. Oh, boy. Bastion life has changed a lot. I don't think Genji was in the game back then.
I wish Genji wasn't in the game.
Yeah, I mean, as a Junkrat and a Pharah, Genji is the perfect counter to both of those characters, so... I've been considering doing the Pondo thing and going McCree.
Fuck McCree.
What Pondo look like? It's not what he actually plays because he's a trash Roadhog player. Not that you're trash at Roadhog, just that Roadhog is trash.
What characters are not trash other than Junkrat, Arthur?
Pharah, Mei,
Mercy.
Mei
is trash. All right.
Mei is not trash.
Mei is
huge tactical play. Huge.
You lost all your credibility.
I'm a Mei player. I'm the Mercy player.
Lucio's a high skill right there.
I enjoy playing Lucio.
I would say that characters like Tracer, Widowmaker, and Ana are good characters, except I'm fucking awful with them, which colors my opinion.
Ana is really hard to play well.
No, Ana is like Sniper from Team Fortress. All you got to do is throw your piss jar at your feet when old Junkrat comes to kill you, and then the Junkrat's like, oh, there goes half my health, and now I can't heal. And then they just need to land one sleep dart on you, and it's over.
How do you feel about the Junkrat nerf?
What Junkrat nerf?
Uh-oh, he doesn't know.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know there was a nerf either. So
There's not a
Well,
nerf.
he might know. He could be in denial.
Look it up.
Listen, it's okay. I actually feel like Junkrat's kind of strong right now. He was very balanced when he only had one
extremely
bomb.
strong.
If you're good with him, the nerf probably won't affect you, but they're now, his mine, the damage radius of his mine is like, it's finite. Like if you're caught in it, you receive the full damage of it.
Yep.
Now it'll have fall off. So if you want to get the full damage, you have to like hit them with the mine.
I actually like that idea. I like that idea.
So it's like if you're good with him, it probably won't matter to you. But the people who just kind of get away with it, I think you're gonna see a big.
I might miss a couple flat kills on Pharah, which just means Pharah is going to be an even stronger counter. I already can't kill Valkyrie Mercy when she's in her ult mode. She's basically impossible as a Junkrat. So that's a pain.
They're planning on continuing to nerf Mercy, or they have been over and over again.
I mean,
it's kind of ridiculous at this point how much they've been gutting her.
So
yeah, but
she's
now
still so super strong that in a match between competitive teams where one has a Mercy and one does not, the Mercy team will basically always win.
Yeah, in the pro teams, it's required.
I'm not even required that they pro have a Mercy. Teams. I'm literally just talking about any level of play on competitive. A Mercy will always win because of the revivability.
I don't know. I play on a different platform, obviously. So
the thing is, with that revivability, most of the time she has to be right out in the open and stand there.
And it takes a while.
For the revive.
I mean, not when she's in Battle Mercy mode. It's like
that's what
not when she's ulting, but all the characters have terribly powerful ults.
That's what they're nerfing
to some degree or another.
She won't have an instant res in battle mode anymore. It'll still have
then she'll probably have a much harder life.
That's what they're changing.
Much harder.
Talking about anime, we talked about Overwatch, the anime video games.
Speaking of anime,
did you guys watch?
Speaking of anime, I watched a little bit of it last night. That was some crazy shit.
What are we watching?
The Overwatch League.
I have no idea what that is. There was a pop up when I was trying to click quick play, and I was like, "Fuck this shit."
So, so the official I don't know. Is it esports? Is it not? It's like it's their own
esports.
That they started, and so like different cities and states and countries and stuff have their own teams, and there's literally like an NFL / whatever insert professional sport here like team system with brackets, and there'll be regular season and playoffs and like all this stuff. So the first night was last night. More teams are playing tonight. My team plays tonight, so I'm gonna miss it.
It was a little weird. It was a little weird seeing a StarCraft 2 caster casting Overwatch.
It's very hectic. Like there's a lot going on. I don't know if it'll be like for me and I'll watch it really regularly, but I did enjoy what I watched. It was pretty cool.
Do they have like a really hammy ESPN setup where they'll be like, let's cut to you, Jake, and then there's a guy that's got paperwork who turns to look at the camera.
It's not that bad.
I'll shoot it back to you in the studio, Rick.
I watched, who did I watch? I watched Los Angeles trounce Shanghai pretty badly.
Yeah, that was the one I watched.
Is Los Angeles the Roll20 team?
I don't know what that.
I know Roll20 has a esports team somewhere out there in California.
But yeah, Houston plays tonight, so I still haven't decided which Houston hero skin I'm going to buy with my free 100 points.
I don't know.
Always after that. I was always after that gambling money with it.
I'm 100% behind esports broadcasters, no matter, or just like sports commentators in general. If you haven't seen the ProZD sports commentator skit yet, should really just stop watching the show for 30 seconds and go load it up. It's fucking hilarious. He's just like, he's going in, and that was the best confession of the season so far, but her opponent is very dumb. All right. Man.
Oh, speaking of
Sid,
anime,
your camera is super lagging, bro. Like,
is it?
Yeah, you're at least a solid 3 seconds behind.
Weird. Okay.
Your frame rate is dropping. Now that I've mentioned it, you're at like maybe 3 frames a second.
Yeah, look at Tabletop Simulator and his ping.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, he's getting wrecked.
And we don't have a rad.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, brutal. So yeah, speaking of anime fans,
I put out a video about it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, Sid.
I put out a video the other day about Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet that they're releasing on Steam. They're bringing back the augment your pre-order nonsense, and I commented about their third tiers, like, oh, it's some sort of thing, whatever. But I counted after 2 hours. I counted 60% of all of the comments were just reworded the exact same damn thing. The tier 3 thing is this. Just so you know, thought you should know. The tier 3 thing is this. It's like, holy crap, the anime fans are just laser focused on this one aspect of the entire video. Is like, yeah, this tier 3 thing is some form of DLC or something like that. Actually, it's a PS Vita release that came out several years ago that they're re-releasing on PC.
Sid, I'm telling you, man, you got to cash in on that anime money. You need to start an anime talk show. You, me, EQ, Lexi, we'll just do drop-in guests. Telling you, you got no. See, there you go. You're missing that anime money. All right, listen. You go watch that Anime Prime Hoseki no Kuni, and then we'll talk. All right, we'll talk afterwards.
I'll think about it.
I mean, you have until Saturday before you shame the family. Right?
I have 48 hours.
Winter's Edge is anime night, man. Winter's Edge is Star Wars and anime. Every other show is anime and something. That's
EQ, don't do me like this. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, you dropped him. You dropped him. Rad, we're gonna cut to you.
Hey,
what you got going on?
Not a lot.
You dropped some hot works in progress last night or
Tuesday
night.
They should have been finished works, but they were only works in progress.
Yeah, those were really good.
That's right. You both showed up on the stream. I felt like committing seppuku.
Very scandalous for me and my tastes, but
I mean that show is a bit scandalous for my taste as well.
I thought it was great.
I'm working for my client, so let it be known that
I'm not your client. My players are your client.
That's true. Well, that's what I'm working for, right? Like they wanted scandalous stuff, so that's what I drew. But yeah, other than that, which is I've been struggling to draw lately. I've had a lot of distractions, and then on top of that, I've had some technical issues with some of my hardware that might need to be replaced that I can't really afford to replace. So I'm at a snail's pace. I'm finishing Arthur's commission, and I plan for it to be done by his next show next Tuesday.
So
I have various elements left to do.
Was this your first time drawing Underboob?
Yes. So I went ham. I went ham on the underboob.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Just to
yeah.
describe the show real quick, I normally play a certain type of campaign, and that campaign is a fantasy role-playing game with politics. The world's usually ending, some dark shit's happening. But occasionally I try to break out, try new things. So we try to kind of it's a system meant to emulate anime, and it's super lewd players who just go full throttle on it. It's way outside my normal comfort zone, but it's like being strapped to the back of a fighter jet, and yeah, that's where we're at. When Sid and Rad showed up in chat, I was like, oh shit.
I mean, it's got EQ and Lexi, so
that's true.
You're gold. You gold there.
If you want to see this lewd art that Rad has drawn, you can go watch Restart episode 4 on my YouTube channel.
The link's in the description, I would imagine.
We were supposed to have another lewd game last night with Made RPG, but our artist bowed out. Aricido was not feeling well.
Aww.
Pondo, however, will be playing in that game next week. Your character is interesting.
Feel better, Arrow. If you're you probably don't watch this show, but
he
if
doesn't
you
watch
did,
this one.
I would wish for you to feel better.
He doesn't watch it. I'm hurt.
Arrow has a very narrow focus.
He does, yes.
It tends to involve cute elf girls.
Tastes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was talking about the character for
Mistborn.
yesterday, and it was like he was making like all these suggestions that are going way over my head.
Oh, that's right. You're gonna be playing a Saber cosplayer from Fate.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, I want to look up Google this, but I really don't want to because this is a dangerous game I'd be playing here.
Yeah, no.
Then he immediately sent me something about it. I was like, all right, Arrow.
Yeah.
Wait, are you actually going to cosplay though?
I unfortunately cannot.
I feel like we've seen the extent of Pondo's cosplay right here.
I ran into some situations where I was trying to get these different characters described to me for Arthur's Tuesday game.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
and
didn't know what Nico Mimi meant.
They were sending me like anime specific like tropes and themes and things and like words that I was like, I do not know what
girl.
And I would search this world and this word, and I would end up in some place that I did not know existed, and probably kind of still wished I didn't know existed.
Something you could have gone without knowing.
Rad. I know how you feel about that. That's my Tuesday night now. That's basically just Tuesday night for me.
So yeah, that was an interesting experience. But other than struggling to draw, yeah, I've been pretty pumped about Overwatch stuff lately. I'll probably buy myself an Overwatch t-shirt. Now that
you have Amazon Prime, Rad?
I do. Yep.
All right, listen. I got something for you. Okay, this is very important.
Okay.
You know how I sometimes suggest that you watch specific animes?
Yeah.
And then you ignored the second one that I told you to go watch?
I just haven't gotten to the second.
It's all right. Listen, fuck that anime. All right? Grimgar of Ash and Fantasy. Made in Abyss is where it's at. I posted an anime club earlier today. You might have to go back up through some garbage.
Okay.
But I posted an image gallery of this fucking show. It's goddamn amazing.
I'll have to check that out.
It's sick as hell. And if you watch it, you better be ready to cry hot, salty tears of despair. Okay?
Okay.
The show starts out in episode 1. It's super cute, and you're like, nothing bad will ever happen. Everything is great. And by the final episode, I was just like, please, God, I don't want to watch another minute. Stop destroying my life.
Okay. I will check that out for sure.
What?
Made in Abyss, buddy. Else? Made in Abyss.
My brother and future sister-in-law have gotten back. They've just dipped their toes back into to Azeroth, the World of Warcraft. And I hung out with him today. He helped me do some stuff around the house. So hearing him talk about it has tempted me to possibly look back into playing World of Warcraft. But other than that sad note in my life, I don't have a whole lot going on. I've been thoroughly enthralled and entangled in home improvement projects as of late. So I cleaned my garage out about 75% today. I went up in my attic and I put down more decking in my attic so I'd have more room to store stuff and room to store the same stuff that I already had in a more organized fashion. I went and like put some hardware in my garage so I could like hang up bicycles and things like that. But That's the exciting life of a stay-at-home dad working on house stuff while he's at home.
No, I understand, bro. I've been over the last 3 or 4 days taking all of my clothes and sorting them through what's black and what's not black, and then throwing out everything that's not black.
That's not black.
And anything that might be useful for spring, I put it in a storage box.
Nice. I finally
it's time
put
to
up,
stop wearing shorts. In
you can see I got my
7
summer
degrees.
shirts back out because summer is really about to return here. In Houston.
Totally in Houston, motherfucker.
But I put up all Christmas
7 degrees.
Yeah. Well, it's actually about to get cold again. I say cold. I
50, right?
Like,
50, 60.
It might get down to the 40s.
See snow once a year.
We saw snow, once so far. So it could happen again. Probably not. I made a little snowman about this big on the hood of my truck. That was the most snow that I had seen since I've been somewhere where there was actual snow.
I've gotten 6 inches today.
Wow. 6 inches that's taller than the snowman I built out of all the snow that I could muster. But I did start talking to my wife today about going back to the mountains for spring break to do some more snowboarding. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I was a certified snowboard instructor for several years, and that's definitely one of my favorite hobbies for sure is snowboarding. So I'm excited to maybe go back and do some more of that.
Listen, in the future where we're all famous at APCon 2021, we need to go snowboarding. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it needs to be in ski in, ski out at like Keystone, Colorado, or someplace like that.
Ooh, Middle America.
That will be Arthur's plot to horribly murder all of us.
I feel like if I was going to do that, I wouldn't gather you all in one location where it'd be super obvious.
He'd travel around and pick us all off one by one.
I'm just saying, again, not that I want to be accused of this at any point in the future, but it seems like it'd be way easier to just travel and individually murder you guys in controlled environments.
Yes, but being able to sit there and gloat over all of us as we're gasping from some form of poison or something that you've released into the room.
Jesus. Listen, I know as a GM, I usually play the villain, but...
Other than that, I feel like there's more I should talk about because I talk a lot, but I guess that's it for the most part. It's only been a week. I haven't been that much going on. My wife went back to work this week, so I've been mostly supporting her and making sure she's had an easy go of it as easy as possible. So right now she's not, because she's on the other side of this wall chasing around probably naked babies that just got out of the bath and don't want to get dressed. So sorry wife, if you watch this, for chasing those naked babies.
All right, Pondo. How's it going?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, no. Wow, you seem like you totally checked out of this conversation. Let me jump back in here with you, buddy. How was your show this week?
It's like we just kind of been talking back and forth. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm doing all right. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, missed Tuesday's game.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of did it, but couldn't really stream it.
Hey, I fixed that.
You did? Yeah. No, it should be fine for next week. Hopefully, knock on wood. And I don't know if I should be thankful that we missed Wednesday or because it's still going to be rough, me playing a maid.
Yeah,
I don't know. Playing a maid, I think you'll be awesome at it.
I've done it once before.
Listen,
I mean, that's
Sid's
basically what I
that.
do. So
because I just invited Sid to join the all-male maid RPG.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
See, I feel like me and Sid's going to have like a British accent off. Like pompous. That is not how you...
That's not how you
for the
bottle.
master.
No, what I want you to do is
proper levels
You
of
dust counterclockwise.
I want you to turn the gain down on your microphone and just scream everything for the entire episode. Just be like super exuberant. Just
that was me
constantly.
playing. If you had watched the Witch Girls game, that was pretty much me playing a cat.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you were like, I'm the Lord Esteban.
I'm Lord Esteban.
I'm going to cause shit with everyone I meet. Yes.
I had to think of what does a cat really feel like.
What would a piece of shit cat do?
A cat obviously would screw with everyone. Yeah.
And I did.
And give zero shits about it.
And I didn't.
That game went horrible. Listen, that game is the only time 3 times in a row. There was a thing in Skulls and Shackles, the first like major long-term campaign that I did on my channel, where I would be like, "All right, Craig, listen up. The only way you'll be able to pass this roll is if you get a natural 20. Only by hitting exactly that." No, you just rolled a 20. All right. It happened like 17 times. It was fucking every single time I said it. You'd think at least once, or like 1 out of 20 times he'd actually get it. No, every goddamn time. And the thing about this Word Scrolls game was, I was like, all right, no matter what happens, as long as you don't get double sixes, it'll be fine. 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
They managed to land double sixes.
It's like it's the same thing that happened to this AP. It's like you said, it's like, all right, so long as you don't get snake eyes, you'll pass this. Oh, you got snake eyes.
It's my special anime ability, Reversal of Fortune Called Shot.
Exactly.
You're actually a divination wizard.
Like all that fortune that was like in Skulls and Shackles with the nat 20s just like went down slow.
All right. Anything
Yeah,
else you
whenever
got going
we
on,
needed to get out of Skulls and Shackles, basically, let's just set up Craig so he can roll a die,
Yeah,
and we'll be
that's
fine.
What if Craig cut his own eyes out and then somehow ended up with an even more powerful character as a result?
Yeah, he's like, I killed that guy. That means I get to kill 8 other guys this turn because
with great
ridiculous,
cleave.
like cleave nonsense. Every time I kill one person, I actually kill 3 people, and then when I kill those, it's just like it's exponential. Then I kill 9.
I take a 5-foot step and get 7 more targets somehow.
Yeah. And yet everyone continues to gather around me constantly.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, no, other than
It's
that,
just like Berserk.
yeah.
If only there was some mech that had some sort of cleave ability where I could just keep shooting over and over again.
You haven't heard about Yunlo Wang?
Indeed.
Guess not.
It's a Centurion that got modified to just have like a Gauss rifle in one arm and an axe in the other. But it also has this thing called triple strength Myanmar where it can run at triple speed when it
Isn't
gets
that-
warm.
Yeah, I would say it's like when it's like super.
There's a
hot
failure
and-
chance where it will explode.
Yeah,
Sounds-
it's
Where do we
but
go?
can
to
you
steal
imagine
that?
moving at triple speed, ramming into something
Yeah,
With an
that's exactly what he does. With an axe, yes.
with an X?
Are you guys talking about Lu Bu? No, we're not talking about
Yeah.
Lu Bu. I
Yeah,
feel like
other-
Dynasty Warriors has reared its head again.
yeah. Other than that, I had to deal with pipe bursting from frozen weather. That was fun.
That sucks.
Luckily, I had a shop vac to pump out all the water, or most of the water. It kind of died out like right at the end. I was kind of proud of it. I'm out of shop vac though. I want to say this: I recommend buying the biggest shop vac you possibly can. That's decent, like at least 12 gallons or something. You may feel silly at the time, but I highly recommend it. You'll
Yes,
never know
I've-
when you need it.
I've had to do this exact thing before.
So now I'm gonna have to go shopping for a new shop vac because mine died.
It's not a
I'm
wet
gonna
dry?
have to-
Couldn't wait for-
It's a wet dry, but I had used it like so much it just
wore it out.
it just died. It lasted to the pretty much the very end, which I was proud of. That's all I could ask for the buddy, but yeah, so that was fun.
All right. English. How's it going?
Fine, it's going good. Yeah. Not much has happened this week other than just doing random crap on the internet as usual.
All right, that was a fast intro. I feel like there's probably one more thing we could talk about. I don't know what it is yet. Yeah, I would go Marvel movies, but Sid is a piece of shit. So,
I can accept this.
yeah.
We can do Star Wars because I saw the Star Wars movie.
No, we're
I
not
haven't
going to talk
saw
about
the
Star
Star
Wars.
I still haven't seen the Star Wars movie.
Apparently,
That's fine.
Black Panther tickets are on fire. Like you can't even hardly get them.
Yeah, I'm highly anticipating Black Panther.
I still need to see the 4 movie.
Here's my beef though, right? Follow me on this one. Black Panther is the first movie that they released where like a combo movie happens before after it's announced, but before it comes out. You know what I mean? So with Avengers and Avengers 2 and Cold War, Winter Soldier, whatever,
Uh-huh.
all of those crossover movies, between their announcement and their coming out, there was no main character movie. And so we know that with Black Panther being in Avengers Infinity War and still being the king of Wakanda and still having giant piles of technology, that no matter what happens, he's going to win the day 100%, and status quo won't change at all.
We know that Wakanda's going to come out on top.
Yeah, so like I'm a little hesitant to go into Black Panther, but the soundtrack is fucking amazing. The cast has already been great. Yeah. It's like a reunion of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I probably won't see it immediately because obviously it looks like it's going to be nuts at the movie theaters. But like Star Wars is the movie I drop everything to go see, and I still don't go see it like first day because
I mean the Han Solo movie is supposed to be out in like 4 months,
which is crazy because there's been
like
no
promotional material. Nothing. Yeah, I mean they've had to continuously reshoot it.
I did find out Star Wars wise. I did find out a lot of people. So apparently, we'll talk about episode 8 here for just a second.
No
apparently,
spoilers.
They did write the scene where they go and do the side mission, right?
Yep.
Like
got it.
Finn side mission.
Yep.
That was specifically written for Lando's character to come
Williams,
back.
Yes.
Yeah, but when they went and they spoke with him and they worked with him, they basically discovered that Billy D. Williams does not have this like. It's not that he's not all there. He just does not have the acting chops. You know what I mean? Like they did not think he could.
They didn't think he could pull off the Lando swagger. This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah. So, apparently that was 100% the intent. So everybody's like, why didn't they do it?
But yet they left the scene in and just made it completely and utterly pointless.
Listen, it's not completely and utterly. Well, there's a lot of completely and utterly pointless stuff in 8.
I think it could have been a thing that happened. It was just like a lot of things in that movie. It was a good idea with very poor execution. Like too much time was spent on it. It was not the right It was not the right tone.
The tone was horrible. Yeah, I like how we both went for tone.
Yeah, it was the right. It was a good we gotta. For whatever reason, this side trek can solve our problem, and we can. But it just didn't work out. Like the way they didn't pull it off. The way what they were trying to do. It wasn't a bad idea. It just was poorly executed.
Sounded like it. From everything I've heard, it sounded like the whole movie was poorly executed.
Yes.
I think
we're gonna battle for days on this. Let's skip past it.
Here's just what I'll say.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch the movie.
It has some of the best Star Wars moments I've ever seen, and it has some of the worst Star Wars moments I've ever seen.
I'll agree with half of that statement.
It has both. It's really worth the watch to get the good stuff out of it. But there were definitely missteps, and I think the biggest problem, and this is what I would advocate for future trilogies, and not just Star Wars, almost any movie franchise, is stick with the same damn director for the 3 movies. This TV strategy of having different directors for all these different episodes is absolute trash for a movie franchise. Because he Rian Johnson just threw away
everything that J.J. Abrams
that he really just shit all over what J.J. Abrams and admittedly J.J. Abrams has this weird film philosophy of the mystery box, right?
The mystery box,
where he just leaves open questions in his movies. And this is a perfect example of why that's not a great idea, because if you don't maintain control of the situation, then all of those mystery boxes are going to turn from plot hooks into plot holes, because whoever does it next has no obligation to see them through. So I feel like J.J. Abrams coming back for the final episode, even though he's not my favorite filmmaker, he's also not my least favorite. I did like the first rebooted Star Trek movie. I didn't know about the ones after that, but I think he's an okay filmmaker. I'm not opposed to him coming back, and I hope that he can kind of backpedal a little bit and maybe make some of the things that were left out of this movie relevant again. I don't know.
Yeah, to my mind, everything that I've seen between the Star Trek reboots and the Star Wars reboots, because let's face it, that's what it is. It's a reboot. They're doing their best to annihilate the original as much as they possibly can. they still are completely unable to capture the essence of the originals and what made them what they were.
I also agree
With
down
Star
there.
Trek, it was all about exploring the human condition and exploring societal norms in a science fiction setting, and about a better, brighter future and
Is
a
this you
better
shilling
tomorrow.
for the Orville again?
No, actually,
I feel
it's
like
not.
this is a stealth
It's
Orville
actually not.
shill.
It's actually not. But with the Star Trek reboots and even with the new Star Trek TV show, they completely ignore that aspect, and it was that hope that made Star Trek what it was for so many people. And with Star Wars, they just it doesn't seem like they're capturing the essence of what Star Wars was, and instead they're trying to annihilate the original so they can make their own vision of Star Wars, which is all it's going to end up doing is it's going to slowly alienate the fans.
Let's cut sideways. I feel like we've talked about a lot, but we've ignored a very key point. That in the last Star Trek movie, whether you loved it or hated it, the point where they started playing Sabotage when all of the fucking drones exploded was goddamn amazing.
I didn't see the most recent one.
In the theater, people lost their shit. And it was fucking poignant because one of the crew officers was like, "Is that classical music?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, hundreds of years in the future that would be classical music."
I definitely agree with you down there in the chat there, Arthur.
What,
The-
that the
the
expanded universe
was
is
thrown
fucking
out
garbage.
because 90% of it is garbage, and that's
All right.
coming from a person who's read every book multiple times and
I
listened to
own every
audiobooks.
book.
Yes, I have an entire.
Thrawn
book
was a horrifying racist. I know everybody loves Thrawn, and there were some good Thrawn moments. But let's be very specific here. Thrawn's whole thing was sitting back and being like,
He was
"I've studied the art of the Mandalorians, therefore I know that they're going to come in at a 45-degree angle, do a rollover, and then backflip double down. Let's shoot them in their butts." And then everyone's like, "My God, Admiral Thrawn, how did you predict their every action based on looking at that piece of art?" Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's not realistic. That's not how military strategy works. And on top of that, you have Luke Skywalker marrying a dreadnought, an actual spaceship. He fucking marries a spaceship in the expanded universe, okay? When you get to that point, there's something wrong. There's something wrong, people. I get that people have kinks, right? But you can't marry a battleship.
And again, I feel that the Star Wars expanded universe suffered the same problem, right? They kept switching authors like constantly, and some of them just weren't any good.
Yeah, but the Star Wars expanded universe also had the X-Wing series.
Yes, X-Wing series was fantastic. It's the pillar. Stackpole and Aaron Allison did amazing jobs there.
God, yeah. Agreed.
Who's the guy who did I, Jedi? I, Jedi is another fucking fantastic book. It's the only one that covers Force usage.
That was with Corran and Horn, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It's the only one that covered Force usage with anything useful. It's the first Star Wars novel where they were like,
Stackpole again.
We're going to retcon things that happen in other novels so that they actually make sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That whole book was told from.
It was the Jedi Academy trilogy told from Corran Horn's perspective, who wasn't even in the Jedi Academy.
It was a first-person perspective, though, too, in the book, which I think that's the only Star Wars novel that did a first-person perspective.
I absolutely 100% agree that if there's any...
Everyone in chat's repping for Race Squadron. That's my boys right there.
If there is any series in the expanded universe and any characters in the expanded universe that deserve a shot at the Disney movie screen,
it's Race.
It's Corran Horn and freaking Race.
Corran Horn, Wedge Antilles.
Yes, 100%.
All of them.
Taicho Kelchu.
I would be more excited about a Wedge Antilles movie
I would love
than
to
I would
see
a Han Solo movie. I'll be honest.
Friggin' Wedge, Biggs, and Tycho. I would pay money to see those guys on screen.
Absolutely.
I would.
Oh God,
Give me that movie.
Where else were we? I feel like there was something I wanted to smack down somewhere. I might just let it pass. Oh, right. I was gonna say we might not have Billy D. Williams being a swag ass Lando Calrissian anymore, but we have Donald Glover, who I think can pull off a cape like a motherfucker.
I have high hopes for young Lando for sure. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the young Solo yet. But
I don't even know what young Solo looks like. I don't even know who the actor is. I don't give a shit. I will watch it just for Lando, man. Donald
Yeah,
Glover
Lando.
was so good on Community. He's a great rapper.
He is. Yeah.
Is that Danny Glover's son?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure you can Google it and you'll find it out instantly. Are we
Let
doing
me
another
Google that
episode
for
of
you.
Sid Googles
See,
things?
Donald.
All right,
Glover.
listen, we got to pull it together here. We're
Okay.
losing Pondo. He checked out. English was still in the conversation, but Pondo just.
I read the comment. I read the Star Wars
Yeah.
comments.
Oh, good, excellent. I mean, well,
Yeah.
maybe not excellent.
No, the comics are they're a mixed bag too, but they're more hit than the EU is. The comics.
No,
Yeah.
no. Okay, here's
Some
my
parts
beef
of
with the
it's
comics. All
Not
right,
related to Danny Glover.
the comics brought the idea that lightsabers could take a form other than a directed beam of energy.
Think about the laser whip.
The laser whip, fucking Lumia. My God, listen,
Oh my
Rad.
God,
As soon as
yes.
you said laser whip, I could feel my blood boil.
Stupid.
Fuck
It's
the
not
laser whip.
an actual. It doesn't work the same way a lightsaber does, though, right?
I
It's
know.
a
Yeah.
Who
different
fucking
thing.
knows?
It's a
It's-
different.
No,
technology.
it's like a segmented. It's weird.
yeah, it's a
It's
knockoff.
good long range, but not close range. It's
Now
kind
we
of-
have absurd lightsabers, and I fucking blame Lumia for everything.
I'll
It's
tell
all
you,
her
this is the
fault.
last
one
thing I'll
thing-
say.
The
one
cross
thing I
guard
like-
is still bullshit.
The
Just
one
remind
thing I
me-
like in the comics is the snakes that lightsaber through.
No.
This is
Yeah,
what,
it just it's just hilarities with the bloody snakes.
this is my last bash on the EU for tonight.
All right.
I don't remember which book it was. It may have been at some point during the Yuuzhan Vong invasion. I don't remember. But they go to Coruscant. And there's like I don't know what it is. There's like this giant man who is like the clone of the Emperor, is the Emperor's son. I don't know. It's something weird. And are you recalling? Does it sound familiar at all?
Hit me with more. I mean, the Emperor definitely cloned himself a bunch of
so
times.
like
Yeah.
Coruscant is in like shambles.
Yep.
And it's a strike force of like the youngins, right? It's like Jason and I don't know. It's the young.
Okay. Yeah, that was during the Yuuzhan Vong invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go there and they come across this like mysterious giant man, and they find this like wellspring of dark energy or dark side stuff or whatever. But then
Right.
when they try and write the description of this combat that they get in when they fight this giant crazy clone man, is he's got like lightsaber Wolverine claws. And,
Oh
like,
yes,
and he's got
I don't know what
lightsabers-
you're talking about.
He's got lightsabers coming out of his elbows and knees.
yeah, elbows, knees,
Swear to
friggin'
God. And you're trying to imagine what this fight looks like, and the way they describe it, it's almost like each lightsaber like pivots on the elbow, like the elbow swing. Like there's no physical like. I swear, I go back and read it just for fun to laugh because it makes zero fucking sense. Like, there's no way this dude doesn't impale himself 100 times in a single parry. Like, is so dumb.
Darth Maul is the perfection of lightsaber combat. That's what
Agreed.
I want to say here.
That's what I really like to see the direction they take with Rey. I'd love to see her with some sort of lightsaber staff.
I mean, she's got the staff and she's got a lightsaber. At
It's right
some
there.
point, she's
It's
gonna
right
put.
there.
I mean, it's
duct
just like
tape it on
Ezra
the end.
from Star Wars
some
Rebels,
point she'll
right?
put
The
two
It's like I got a
together.
blaster, I got a lightsaber. What if I make a lightsaber blaster?
The funny
Can
thing
you
is,
stop
the actual is lightsaber staffs. And
Yes, but they
God.
all suck, and everything's E EU.
No, because they
Okay.
actually showed the lightsaber staffs in the in that one movie that animated movie you're talking about. The one where you put the blaster and the lightsaber together.
Rebels, yes.
Yeah, Rebels.
Listen, Rebels has a very conflicted production history.
You need a gun that just shoots lightsabers, like spinning.
I mean,
lightsabers.
haven't you
know.
seen that XKCD where they did
Dude,
that? They're like the
basically-
evolution of weapons. You
Like,
got
it just has-
blasters,
crossbow.
lightsaber swords, lightsaber things,
Yeah.
and they got around the lightsaber guns that shoot lightsabers.
You just have basically a gun that showed like it shot like Krillin's Destructo disc would basically be what it is.
Destructo disc. Oh my god, the best power in all DBZ, and it never gets used.
No,
Never
It only
gets
gets
used.
used
just
to
launch that bad
freeze
boy
the
out,
dark
let him
and then
fly
never
around for a
again.
while.
All right, let me ask you a question. All right, seriously, couldn't like 100% of DBZ fights be solved by Goku using Destructo Disc and then instant transmissioning, moving at the speed of light behind someone, just cutting their neck off? Like, name one fight
I-
besides Cell where that would not
just
instantly
throws the
kill
disc.
someone.
And then like teleports behind somebody and just moves them slightly to be in front of the disc.
As far as Dragon Ball Z, yeah, that Cell would be about the only one. Super, it's like so not consistent.
All right, I
that it
haven't
doesn't
watched
even
any
make sense.
Super at all, so
Yeah,
It
Super's.
just makes me think.
everyone's
all that
saying
stuff just
boo.
makes me think of
I
the
know what
arrowhead of
boo
total
looks
destruction.
like.
He
Oh,
could,
yeah,
he
Boo
could start
puts the-
forming it and then instant transmit to where the person is just standing above them, so just it forms and chops them in half instantly.
All right, listen, we have to start playing this game at some point.
Yeah. I think we could.
You know, we said we weren't going to talk about anime, so instead we just destroyed it with Star Wars. Fucking
And then
destroyed it.
slowly went back to anime.
Technically
All
didn't
anime
talk about
wouldn't happen
anime.
if there was just one guy with a lightsaber gun.
All right, look,
I
it's
need to
it's
go
been a
over here.
long presentation, but now we're beginning the episode. Previously, our troops arrived on a new planet, Hood 4, were introduced to several colorful local characters, and have begun their investigation of the local... Is Battletech a game? Oh my god. Actually, no, this is just a talk show. I can't even say it with a straight face.
We just use Battletech as a vehicle.
Ladies and
Welcome to
gentlemen,
Okeanos,
welcome to
episode
Untitled
25.
Pretty much.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
Arthur, throw up the real overlay now.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me somebody to take
You've really been watching.
Where were we at? Our party's begun several investigations, attempting to infiltrate their own organization, the Commonwealth Grand Hotel Interstellar. The current date is May 24th, and they have some engagements booked. Bandito has 2 tickets on June 1st to the Kenneth Cross arrival party, where he'll be throwing down a How to Become a Paramilitary Badass. And on June 15th, our bandits will be arriving to speak with whoever you decide to take to that meeting. So, we open on May 24th after the events of the last episode and all of the chaotic shit that happened there. You are in the combat information room underneath the bridge where Sergeant Gwendolyn Crimson, aka 9 Lives, has pulled up all the information you are capable of getting off of the hotel computers using your, I believe it's a red level clearance card.
Orange.
Orange.
You have extremely high level clearance. Basically, it's 2 steps below like CEO level. So
So
okay.
you have basically like all personnel files, everything there, guard schedules, vault contents, guest lists.
Excellent.
Oh,
Okay, we
hey,
wanna
see,
run that
Bandito
through a
didn't
number
do too bad after all.
things.
All right.
Where do you want to run that through? A blender? Maybe find some.
I think I
when
feel
you're in
our
elementary
security
school-
officer should.
Yeah.
Brad is like, all right, just apply some filters to it, then enhance.
Did you ever make a function machine when you were in elementary school, where you put the index card in with the equation on one side and it comes out with the answer on it? No, okay, all right, just me. Our education.
Yeah, we call those computers now.
It's not very advanced. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Go to Wolfram Alpha and do that.
Sid probably knows what I'm talking about, or he at least has the common courtesy to pretend.
I'm an electrical
No, I
engineer,
do not.
motherfucker. I will destroy you, Rad. Fucking destroy you.
We want to run all kinds of cross checks between like who is on duty. Is there any correlation between events and personnel and timings and all of that sort of?
Can we
Man,
get
those are actually
primarily?
pretty
Can
good
we get?
questions.
Can we see who has white level access from?
Only
ours?
the man that you met with, I think his name was
racist.
Lou Macnessa, has white level access. That's not racist. Get the fuck out.
Can we
Next thing you're gonna say is you could tell what he's
Alright.
gonna do based on his art.
Hey guys, can we check what cards we used when? Like each card should have an individual IT code, so we should be able to.
Access logs and the
yeah.
like.
Yep.
Yeah,
access
which
logs.
cards we.
I mean,
used
you guys are putting out a lot of things.
Yes,
I mean,
run
let's
it
start
all.
writing them down and prioritizing.
I
I mean,
that one
you'll
should be
probably
the
get
first
a
one.
selection of things, and based on how successful you are, we'll figure out what you get. So, I'm hearing access logs. I'm
Mhm.
also hearing what else?
Basically, I think from the sounds of everything that's going on, to kind of paint a log picture is what we're trying to accomplish using access logs and security camera footage and work shift rotations and everything like that to kind of paint a picture of the movement patterns of all of the staff who could have potentially been in collusion with the pirates. days leading up to the attacks and the days of the attacks.
All right.
To try to
So your
figure out.
primary objective here is to use this data to try to interpolate which staff members might be in collusion with the pirates.
Right.
I would say yes.
Okay.
By looking at three things, right? We're looking at who's supposed to be on duty, who is on duty, and
Who
what
isn't.
cards are being used, and are they the cards that are supposed to be with those people?
Mhm.
Oh, we should also get the logs of which vaults were stolen so we can look at those.
All of the vaults were stolen every time they showed up.
How many vaults
Okay.
are there?
There are 4 vaults. There's the main vault inside the
Ambitious.
headquarters, and then there's one at each of the hotel towers for guests
Okay.
that want to like locally store without having to go all the way to like the command center to go.
And
get
there's
their
no
stuff.
breaking and entering with any of these instances.
That is
right?
correct. There's
Okay.
no breaking and entering except for the very first raid.
So this is an entirely digital crime somehow. Like it's all happening in system, in some shape, form, or
Except for the
fashion.
first one.
And we can't see any of the white card access, can we?
You cannot.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna need 2 rolls, and I gotta figure out whether the second one has a sub roll to it.
If it's a computer roll, I'll happily take it again.
It is not, because you've
Oh.
already got the computer's part out. We need an investigation
Investigation.
roll, and then we need a security operations electronics roll. And if you don't have electronics, you'll take a -1 on it. I want to point out that right before the game started, I made a roll, and I got 6-4, 6-4 on both pairs of dice.
I have a +1 to
Beautiful.
electronics. Technician electronic, is that what you're talking about?
No, sensor,
No,
security systems electronics.
Oh, I cannot attempt.
I cannot attempt.
Probably
Me neither.
Carlos can.
I can't either.
Uh-oh.
Can,
What about
I've-
our NPC?
She can, but she's not skilled at that specific thing.
love that
She
the-
has security systems, but doesn't have a sub heading in it.
This character sheet really throws it in your face too. It's like skill level false.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my face.
All right, who's rolling for? Wow, you guys left the tabletop, I guess.
I'm sorry, I could not. handle
It
that.
disconnected everybody. That was the thing.
Oh, can you
Oh,
It
do
it
that?
disconnected me.
I left on purpose because my computer
So-
was dying on the inside.
Yeah,
What
that's
is
true.
this? Let's
I
do
think we
some
should
dex
change back
and-
to the previous map.
Yeah, but I need this one just in case you guys actually.
So
fight
if we
tonight.
do it, it's at a -1 if we don't have it.
Well, I just rolled a 10. So she did real good.
Oh, never
Nice.
mind. Okay, good job.
Yeah. Now you guys need to roll an investigation.
Who's doing that?
I
roll
can
full.
attempt with a flat 0.
I suck at investigation. So
Am I the only one that has investigation?
I have investigation with a +1.
Can I help him?
Yes, you will give
Okay.
him a +1.
I'll- I'll assist him for the +1.
All right,
So
you need to
that'll
hit
be
an 8,
+2.
and you have a +2. You got a 13. Okay. You guys broke way past the barrier of what you needed, so I'm gonna tell you everything, the entire
All 2
plot.
feet up.
Yeah.
oh, we get
The entire plot. Nice.
we get the villain monologue.
No, you get Crimson laying out in order everything that she's gathered from all of your investigations. And it's like a montage of like Butch like printing off papers and like circling keywords and then handing it over, and they're like putting them in a circle, and all the keywords like form a weird alchemical cross, Full Metal Alchemist
It's like,
style.
with all, like, the strings of
Bandito
yarn,
and
like,
Gold Stagger in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
full
there's-
conspiracy theory mode. We have the the red
Yeah,
yarn.
there's this
screen
question mark
across
index cards everywhere. So here's what happened.
It all adds up.
The first
There's Maxwell sitting at the table, drinking coffee, reading a newspaper, just looking up and then looking back down at the.
The first thing that happened is, in the very first raid of this bandit group, the man that you currently know of as Ritter Einsburn, who is the current security chief. You specifically said you were looking at security camera logs, And when you go to check the logs, you realize that he's one of the bandits from that first raid.
Interesting.
At one point, he enters
I
an
knew you were
area
suspicious.
without cameras and then is seen leaving it later. And the next person to exit that area several minutes later is his current wife, Aki. But at the time, she had a different name because she wasn't married yet. Her name then was Hainsworth. So the plot continues to thicken. Several weeks later, Aki is recommending using her powers in HR Ritter to join the security team A. And over the next couple of months, Aki and Ritter together begin replacing members of the security teams who die in raids with bandits. And now all of security team A and B are filled entirely with the bandits. And they've been the ones specifically helping aid in it, using Aki's high-level security clearance to get them hired without background checks or falsifying their identities, clearing their criminal histories.
Do it.
Got everything right here in a nice giant digital package with 2 11 rolls in a row.
We have the perfect way to capture them too. I already have a way to capture them.
But
because
There's nothing that. There's
security,
nothing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
we're training them in security drills, right?
Yes.
So they're A and B. So they obviously probably outnumber us and Team
Yes.
C. So we put them through a training scenario where we provide them with the weapons that we've checked out and prepped for them, and we make sure the weapons are loaded with blanks,
Or dummy rounds.
dummy rounds, and that
We
way
we load them with rounds that will explode on them when they pull the trigger.
We could just send them into both teams into a one-way room
Or, you know what
and
we
then
could do?
lock the door as they all go in.
gas them.
We just do mount training and just butt struck
We
them all.
could
in
do
the
like
face
a
when they
whole
walk in the room.
series.
Speaking of, that guy Drake was on security team B, so he's definitely one of the
fuck.
bandits.
Oh, he is. Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. It is A and B. All right.
Excellent.
All right, yeah, I think we should train
Crimson
them
and
into
I
the
can bust.
ground and then do a
No reason I set up this entire investigation plot and they solve it with 2 rolls.
I feel like
By getting a guy drunk, stealing a security card.
All right,
like
I'll
they
admit you
get
did
out
actually
there,
do a lot of work. Some terrible
Yeah.
shit happened though.
when they find
Yeah.
it out, somebody's like, "Look, Butch, now you don't even have to feel bad about hitting that guy in the face." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah,
Raddosaurus, just coming
Right.
swinging today.
I didn't need to feel bad. I did. Okay."
So the guy that hired us to find the
That's
mole,
fair.
is he one of the pirates?
He doesn't show up in any of your history because he's white level access.
Ooh.
Okay. So we don't have anything that would implicate him, but we
That's
also
correct.
we wouldn't even if he was guilty.
That's correct.
Okay.
We should probably hold on this to make sure old boy that told us to start the investigation isn't on it, right?
Our job is just to find out, right? Like we're not.
So the previous person who was investigating this was Ritter because he's the current director of security for the hotels on the
Right.
planet. So he was searching for himself.
But we weren't directed to apprehend these people.
You were not.
Okay. So it's not that we have to catch them necessarily.
That's correct.
We
unless we get hired.
Well-
However, as Lieutenant Maxwell Harridan has pointed out, it would be a good idea to try to find a way to capture their stuff. If you want to go that far.
What do you mean capture?
think-
Might be a good way to
You know
get
that
to
they have
nice
a
bit of bonus.
a company of Battlemechs and a dropship.
Oh, you're talking about the ones that are
pirates.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
their materials.
All right. How can we turn this all to our advantage then?
At the same time, Dr. Sean Goldhirsch, Mechwarrior pilot, you have an outstanding message on your compad from the
Mhm.
unit's legal advisor. They're not currently a lawyer yet. They're a paralegal who are trying to get lawyer training. The unit adjutant, Sergeant Blake Howe, asking if you wanted to pursue legal action at your request against the local planetary government and Lieutenant General Lisa Lieutenant General Lisa
Lieutenant.
Orsini. That's the person who locked you up in prison last episode.
Yeah, detained. Yeah.
Maybe she wants to ask you out on a date.
Listen,
Sorry for the hard
listen,
feelings.
Pondo. Not everybody's trying to ask you out on a date when they lock you in a room. I'm just saying, I don't know how Pondo does things, man.
I will take
Ridiculous.
He
I
could
will
be
take
into that S&M
counsel,
stuff.
but I will take counsel and think on it.
All right.
Because I don't know the laws on this planet yet.
So
So,
the Federated Commonwealth, I got this mixed up a lot last episode, but it's kind of easy to get mixed up. Here's the deal. The Lyran Commonwealth and the Federated Suns are in the process of becoming one super government called the Federated Commonwealth. But technically, that government doesn't exist until the Prince of the Federated Suns and the Archon of the Lyran Commonwealth both die, and their son becomes the Archon Prince.
Right.
So there's like this
Victor
pseudo
Steiner
structure
having-
that's starting to come into focus as the two rulers are combining their states together. But that's the reason why sometimes they refer to people as lieutenant, and sometimes they're referred to as lieutenant, and sometimes they're referred to as lieutenant, and why the laws are also very mixed up. So either way, in the Lyran Commonwealth, rule of law is a thing, right? Even though it's a noble society, and even though having money makes you more equal than others, technically you could try to press this case, and the government wouldn't. Let's say if you were in the Draconis Combine, you might not disappear into a river, and then later be discovered as a victim of a suicide.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Just to be clear, that kind of shit happens in the Compellian Confederation and the Draconis
It does.
Combine.
Rule of law.
I love that in all the stats for Battletech, they're like, the Draconis Combine has the lowest crime rate. And then they're like, that's because most people are found floating face down in the river and it's considered a suicide.
and that's why the doctor doesn't have a Hippocratic oath.
He was shot in the head 7 times with a 12-gauge pump. Obviously a suicide.
Yeah. Fell down.
He was
an elevator.
found inside of a
Just bullets.
zippered black bag. It was a suicide.
With a tag written suicide on it.
That's real, by the way. That was some MI6 shit that happened in Britain. It was,
Oh God, yeah, I
fucking
remember.
baffling.
I fucking
He tripped
remember.
and fell on his own sword 17
times.
What was that movie, Mystery Men, where they were like, he fell down an elevator shaft
On
onto
some
some bullets? I love that movie. It's not one line, it's the whole movie.
That movie just doesn't quit though.
That was
Continue
that's
with
brilliant.
you will not be able to. Something about a balanced attack. He's like balancing a tack hammer on his head.
You will not be capable of creating a balanced attack until you can balance attack.
on your head. Why do I have watermelons on my feet? I don't remember telling you to do that.
No, I love Mystery Man.
The guy who creates only non-lethal weaponry.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So where are you guys at? It sounds like you have a number of plans. What do you want to do?
See, how much time do we have until our first event?
Let's see here. It is currently the 24th, and you have until June 1st. So I think like exactly 1 week.
Interesting.
Yes.
Wait, 1 week. Okay.
Until Bandito
meeting.
needs to go to a paramilitary training.
What about our? That's what our. What about our meeting with the bandits? Where we're our recruitment meeting?
That's in 3 weeks.
Okay.
So,
I mean, well, so far it looks like we got pretty much everything we need for the investigation. Do we want to hold out since we got like a lot of time? Maybe figure out a way to get the bandit stuff.
Yes. Do we want to concoct a ridiculous plan, or do we just want to turn this packet of information over to the person now that our job is done? That's the question.
I think we should concoct a ridiculous plan.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think how.
Involving training exercises where we're basically doing mock combat where their weapons are full of blanks and ours are actually loaded.
But even if we kill or capture all of the bandits that are on planet, I mean, we're not going to get their stuff. Their stuff is all on a dropship. somewhere in space. Like,
Yeah,
know,
but
should
these
there's
guys are
probably a
gone,
lot
and
more.
then we infiltrate the pirates,
It's true.
kill all them, and take all their stuff.
so yeah, we heard you guys needed some more people because all of yours got lost.
Yeah, we don't know what happened. They're all dead now.
How many members are there total on A and B team? many pirates are we looking at on planet?
Like 20 something.
In
Okay.
total.
I
on
mean, one
each
mech
team.
will solve that problem.
each.
That's no big deal.
No, that's almost exactly accurate. One mech is equal to one platoon. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying.
And I mean, that would only be if all the people in the platoon were armed with anti-mech infantry and trained in it, and they're
Yeah, I was
not.
gonna
I mean, they do have anti-mech equipment because you're supposed to be training them on it, but it's not you guys that are training them, so it's the rest of your squad.
I mean, we could easily
Just to be
set
clear,
that up
like,
to easily detain them that
A
way.
company of mechs can easily wipe out several regiments of regular
I mean, of
infantry
course.
When
without
they
anti-mech.
When they attack, like normally in the past when they've attacked, do they bring their mechs always down on planet?
Yep, they land
like-
the dropship, right where your dropship currently is, and then they quick offload the mechs, take some.
We're parked in their spot.
Like fast cars, and like Mad Max style, and go raid all the other hotel areas while the mechs like defend against the incoming forces. The security teams that are supposed to be fighting the mechs.
So other than the people in the platoons, who else is in? Who else? My buddy Lightning's not in the platoons, is he?
No, he was in
He's
Team
in
C.
CT.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
he's one of.
I'd be
he's-
really disappointed.
I already thought about that. I was like, what team? Oh, he's fine.
He's CT.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
feel like
Other thing, was there anybody else besides the platoons that were part of the pirates that we know of? Just
security
the
chief.
director and then his wife.
Yeah, security chief and his wife and team A and B.
I mean, I think we can easily pick and choose a time that we could easily just detain them all at one instant.
See, I don't think we need to go crazy. Just get them in for combat training and exercises. Give them guns loaded with
then-
blanks. Lock them in in the warehouse and gas the shit out of them.
Yep, but what does that accomplish?
And
I guess is what I'm
then-
trying to figure out.
We
So we
have
can-
them detained, and we can.
Detain
We
them.
can question them and then figure out where they actually are.
Yeah, where the ships are located and eat the
Of
ransom.
course,
Oh,
the
then
security
what?
chief and his wife will not be there, so
That's what I
we'll
was
still
gonna
need to
say,
go
is,
pay
like, I
them a
could
visit
set up-
afterward.
I
we
can set
can
up a meeting.
tip off the.
I can set up a meeting and then me and Crimson can kind of detain them there.
Right, but then what?
We'll
How does that
get
get
all
us?
that stuff
How does
and
that
we'll
get us
turn in
any
what we
closer
know.
to their stuff? I guess is what I'm trying to figure out.
Then we can question them after we detain them,
And what do we expect to find out?
where they're at.
Where the,
And then how
yeah.
do we go get them? We don't have
We
a
have-
spaceship that goes and like fights other spaceships, do we?
I mean, you could use your spaceship to fight their spaceship.
We do have a drop.
Okay.
meter.
But
Yep.
in the case that you lose that, everyone on board dies,
That's
and
the end of the game.
the unit is now 250 million sea bills in debt with no spaceship, which is
I mean, is that the end game? Is to go have a space battle and try and because
Or-
that doesn't get us
or-
our stuff, their stuff either.
Or we could go super crazy on this, find out the location of the base, and if they're in system, we infiltrate the pirates and Trojan horse their shit. Dropship lands, disgorges mechs, and we throw open the doors from the inside, as it were.
What you're saying? Steal their mechs?
Yeah.
That's ultimately what we want, right? Is we want their mechs. We want their
How hard is it to steal someone's mech? It was pretty hard, wasn't it?
I
You have
think
to
it's pretty
do a
hard.
security
Well,
check.
but if
and
we
then-
find their base and slaughter all of them before they can get in their mechs, then we could take our time and hack into their mechs and take
All
them.
right.
So
The problem
assault
is
their
there's like
base,
two
with
of
our
us
mechs.
that are actually good at that stuff, and one's probably not coming with us.
Depends. If
Well,
you
but
want
if
As
we-
in,
ask
the
somebody.
two of us that are actually good at that stuff would be the Sarge and then Crimson.
Mhm.
Crimson's probably going to stay here because she's better off here. So that way,
So I feel like maybe I don't know. I don't understand. I
well,
feel
the
like
B thing
feeling-
is time is of our essence, so we can take
Sure.
this as slow as we feel.
well,
like.
it may or may not be. We don't know when the next attack is scheduled to be. So I feel like that's the linchpin information that we could get from interrogating someone that's here on planet, one of the bandits that's here. But I mean, that's a crapshoot. You may or may not get that. I feel like taking care of the people that are here on planet is exactly like Sid said. It's easy. We can get all of them, no problem. I feel like that very little.
So I feel like that should be step one.
But very little could go wrong.
All you need to do is just drill them to hell and then make them do a freaking breaching situation and lock them in.
But I don't feel like that gets us any closer to our goal.
Well, I feel like our job, what we were hired to do, is to find out the traitors and everything like that, round them up. Okay, that's step one. Next step is to find the pirates and take all their crap. That's the gravy. That's the icing on top of the cake.
That's what we're trying to accomplish.
Job. You know what I mean? Like our job is just to give this portfolio of information that we found to their boss, and then like job done. So like I feel like, am I incorrect in assuming that, Arthur? I mean, there could be unforeseen circumstances afterwards.
Yes,
but like,
there could be. But
our understanding is we have standing in this room, all of our characters together with Sergeant Crimson. Our understanding is we just did what we have been hired to do.
But I want to remind you, you are mercenaries, and you have a contract that says you get to pull 80% of any salvage in a military conflict that you take.
Right.
And that would be a conflict.
That's exactly what
you feel like your contract with this mole hunt specifically allows you a great measure of authority and freedom. If you feel like the better move is to hold the information, trick the pirates into somehow revealing themselves to you, and then stealing all of their stuff, in the end, if what Lou Magnus said was true, the person who hired you, you'll get 80% of a dropship in a company of mechs, which would basically double the size of your mercenary.
Right. Which is definitely what
huge, but it'll be tough. It'll be
that would go a long way to severely unfuck us financially, though.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at is beyond turning these guys in, we're not going to receive any additional support from anyone. It's all on us to get that gravy that we want.
Chat just fucking destroyed you guys. 80% of 4 blown up mechs is 3 tons of armor.
Screw you.
Slaughtered by words.
So like getting into a mech fight is kind of what we want to avoid.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to kill them outside of their mechs.
I don't know how this fiction works, but like are they out in space someplace, or is that unreasonable? Are they do they have a base somewhere? I guess
what you know are, I guess, technically what Sergeant Gray knows. I believe he shared it with this to all of you last episode. Is that the pirates steal merchant dropships and then come in on a commercial jump ship, land, disgorge all of their stuff, take all of the things, load it back on their dropship, and then go fly to their actual jump ship, which is waiting for them, fully charged to make the jump.
So they have their own.
So they have a base, but it's out of system.
Yes.
It's out of system.
It's not clear where they're coming from. But you do know that they're former members of the Greater Valkyrie, so they're probably somewhere northwise on the
galactic map.
They're definitely in dark space on the periphery.
There is a potential that we could also snag our own jump ship.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. So
that's a lot of gravy.
Just like, man, I'd really love a jump ship right about now.
Assuming we can get all these guys and determine the location of their base.
Yep.
Right. I feel like we still don't have the resources to raid and rob a base.
Judge, we can go back through and we can determine an approximate size of the mercs or the bandits that they usually bring, what assets they typically bring with them in these raids.
It was just like
so
and
we can extrapolate
and a couple of plants of mechs.
Like 12 mechs, but you've seen different mechs each time. And also like a lance of vehicles. So like between 4 and 8, but we're not talking like combat vehicles. We're talking like Jeep, hover Jeeps. We're not talking like tanks.
Yeah, looter vehicles, basically.
I guess. So, I know we're heavily in debt as a unit.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Is it crazy to consider like subcontracting additional like?
You have no money right now.
Infantry force, but like I don't know. So we couldn't like write up a contract that's like contingent upon success. Okay, yeah, nobody's gonna. I would.
I
Well,
mean,
if-
that's going to be rough
also-
because again, you guys are deeply in debt, and your current worth is $0 until the end of the
I'm just
month.
saying, if we could double our worth with this operation, it would be worth going further in debt to make sure that the operation could be pulled
That'd
off.
be great, but it's not your decision.
I know, but
Yeah.
theoretically,
Yes.
Of course, if we could find if we could find from the bandits that we have on planet, if we could find out the location of the base,
Of where they
then we
drop
could
jobs
drop our
back to.
entire unit on them.
Yeah, once you find the location of the hidden rebel base, take your planet-destroying weapon.
we just
and
need
fly around
miniaturized
the
Death
moon.
Star tech.
Yeah.
Yep. So then, what's the better avenue then? Is it to interrogate the shit out of all of these dudes? Because if we do that, if we take all of these guys down, then I feel like we don't do the meet with the bandits thing, right? Because that tips them off. They're like, shit's gone down. They may pull away completely if their entire ground
It's
operation.
true.
goes
It might be
belly
a good
up.
idea to leave them alone until we meet with them and infiltrate them, and then have our company. We already know who they are.
Right.
We have a thumb on them. We know but they don't. So our group can handle. Our NPCs can handle that.
So let's leave.
While we go off and handle this other shit.
Yeah. So all right.
Yeah.
So let's leave. Everything we got here. So that way, if we somehow don't make out from this meeting, because this is all a possibility, I think we all know this. This is
Sergeant
terrible.
Crimson pops her head up and is just like, "Don't worry, I'll let everyone know you died nobly, and I'll immediately forward these emails to everyone I know."
Yeah, that's
So
the
that I am
plan.
not
Thank you,
also
darling.
killed. Yep. You call me darling again, I am going to injure you in ways that are not immediately obvious, but will have a repercussion covering a lifetime.
I kind of don't care, but do at the same time.
Oh, that
Regardless.
reminds me. Had Zahn actually finished that piece of artwork last week during the show? I think he did.
I saw it. It was like,
Yeah, I
it's
saw
so
it.
funny. Yep, I feel like I'm gonna relink it. I'm also gonna put it in the description of the YouTube for this show, just in case people. I'm just here for the chocolate. Perfect. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a good scene.
yeah.
Now,
Now,
So we have two ways of getting from point A to point B, and it sounds like we're leaning towards the way where we become bandits.
maybe if we can pull that off and don't die.
Well, so then I feel like the question is, do you want to do this as an outside job or an inside job, right? Like, are we going to become bandits and try and take this place out from the inside, or are we going to learn where it is and attempt to assault it from the outside? Like, that's so. What are our characters and our unit better at?
I mean, I think most of us are pretty strong with either martial or small arms or both.
I'm definitely.
I'm both.
I'll tell you what I'm not good at. Disguise. What would be the check for lying or deception?
I think it's deception.
Yeah, I'm bad
there
at
deception?
disguise.
I have a
No.
-5 to disguise. I'm very recognizable. I have a
I have a -6 to disguise.
I have a -5.
Apparently
so
we need to
remember
be
that
more-
your boy
acting?
Rapier is supposed to be getting you. Planetary
So they don't
IDs.
actually know
Right.
who we are yet.
Would deception be like acting?
Probably.
I think there's
Okay.
there's
Also a
deception.
-5.
Also a -5, yeah.
So my ability to lie and pretend to be someone else is very low, according to my character.
Yeah, that might not be the best idea then.
Unless I'm pretending to be a military historian, probably not going to work out super well.
I can sneak.
I don't know.
You can just be the muscle guy who doesn't talk.
Sure, but it sounds like all of us have the same problem.
Just 'cause you guys are
let me
all
handle all
terrible
the
at
talking.
lying.
We'll be fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry.
Oh, let you handle all the talking. My
I
intelligence
feel like this
score-
is where the fucking audience laugh track would be if this is a TV show. Bandito would take a second to grin and look around, wait
Like,
for
"Let
the
me do
audience
all
to
the
stop
talking."
laughing.
See,
And
I'm
then it
pretty
cuts to
decent
us
at
all
stealth.
in a cell and handcuffs, like gagged.
All according to plan.
It wouldn't be fine.
Yeah, the narrator. It wouldn't be fine at all.
All according to Keikaku.
Yeah. Which,
Well, we could always try to do the tried and not so true method of just winging it.
my streetwise is trash. My stealth is 1.
Oh, that
I
reminds me.
have a 3 in stealth.
You wanted
I
to
have
do
three
another
myself, too.
Streetwise, right, English? You wanted to have Dr. Sean go meet with the Lyran Mafia? The La Familia?
I'm better at floating in space shooting guns. than I am
Let's
flying.
see if what my streetwise with them is.
I mean, that's what Edge is for, right? Just to be
I
more
don't have any
edgy.
of that either.
Oh, well, I mean, it sounds
I
like
have
you
a
made some
1
serious problems
in
with
the
putting a character
Streetwise.
together.
Well,
Maybe
I
you
didn't
shouldn't
want
have tried to become a god tier pilot.
I
and you
didn't
should
want
have
to.
put some basic sense into.
I didn't want a body of 2. I'm sorry.
Hell, I have a 3 I have a 2 in interrogation if we ever need that.
I mean, I feel like that's.
I mean, I think we will
Yeah.
very soon, actually.
So that's the first time I've heard anybody say a positive stat in any of our possible plans. So maybe that's.
I mean, no, it's
I have a
like
2
a
in computer. That got us the
martial
orange
arts,
card.
perception.
Yes,
I
we're
could s-
great.
I
We're
can
great
scout the
fighters.
shit out of some stuff, but
But can you pretend to be a bandit?
No.
I
Sure.
could be a doctor.
hey, you never know if you don't try. All right.
I mean, you tell me how the system works, Arthur. Are we going to be asked to roll to lie?
Depends. I want to throw this out here just because it's a possible thing that you can have happen. Rapier is supposed to be your go-between, your contact from the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could just do all the introductions and handle most of that stuff for you while you get situated.
He's getting our fake IDs together. And
I mean, he's doing that now, but like
Right.
he could literally be like, "These are my boys. Let me tell you about my boys." And then the lying, you probably wouldn't be asked like, "Are you a spy?" Right? Because
Okay.
they'd be like, "Oh, this relatively useful."
Are you a
Right.
cop? You have
Yeah,
to tell me if you're a cop.
So it's basically we're more or less they're determining whether or not they're going to hire us based on him. Like there's maybe a cursory
I'm
interview.
saying that's a thing that you could let happen. You could literally let your agent handle it for you.
We also didn't have a tremendous amount of faith in his ability.
You did believe that, yes.
I think it might be a good idea at this point.
If we want to do that plan, then yes, I think that's absolutely what we should do.
Okay, it's gonna be good times. As you've decided that particular. Well, before I say that, are Pondo, English, are you guys good with this plan? Where I lock you
Yes.
into anything?
Wait a minute. I don't know if I'm good with the plan
I
yet.
thought you just said you were good with the plan.
I'm just saying if we do it that way, that's the
All
way
right.
we should do it.
You let
I
me know when you
think-
guys are done with the plan.
I would be pretending to be Pooch McLurk. I don't know. You guys tell me what you want to do. I think
I want to do it.
I'll
think
tell you
yes,
what I want.
one's
really,
much
really
safer,
want.
one's a different-
Espionage plan to get to fake being a bandit, I think is a good idea. But I think we should also capture all the bandits already on the planet first.
See, I don't think we can do them both though. Like if we capture them
See,
all,
although if we capture all the bandits, it might put pressure on them to, all our guys are gone. We're gonna have to hire on new, or it
So
might
do
tip
we-
them off.
Or if we do it quick and fast enough, they won't be tipped off because if we
Yeah, but if they send a bandit if they send one of the bandits in system to meet us, they're obviously most likely going to check in with their local guys.
yeah. And we also have not. I don't feel like we've kept a low profile.
Yeah, we
So,
haven't
like,
exactly kept a
A team and B team know exactly what we look like and exactly what we're here to do.
I mean, they know what you two look like.
well, okay, they don't know exactly.
They
what we're here
actually
to do.
don't know what you're here to do.
Yeah, they know
You
that
were
we're here to
hired
train them to be
personally for
better.
the mole hunt.
So here, let me propose
Yeah.
this as a third
We're
option
training
to further
them.
convolute our decision. We could always feint a double cross, right? Like we could go to the bandits and been
You mean a
like,
triple cross.
shit, that's what I said. We could go to the bandits and be like, yes, we were hired to increase the security against you and just be ourselves, right? Like, this is what we were hired to do. But we think teaming up with you guys would be way more lucrative.
So tell the truth without actually telling the truth?
So lying by telling the truth.
Pretend we're
It's
gonna
easy. When they
pretend
ask
we're
you
gonna
what you
jump
want,
the
you say,
fence.
we're mercenaries and we want to get a lot of money. And what you don't say is,
yes.
we're going to take it off your dead bodies.
Exactly. Right.
I really enjoy this plan.
So we do
go
that.
to the head security guy and somewhat come clean. It's like, we were hired to find you. We found you. We want in.
Do we do that, or do we go to their pirate meeting and do it and be like, look, we found your dudes, they suck.
Hire us instead.
But we're already there. We already have all the access. And you can even pay us a little bit less.
So that's really dangerous,
Right.
though.
Wow, you're undercutting them? You're literally like, listen,
We
we'll work for 10% less. And we'll get rid of all of your old workers who aren't very good for you.
I'm just trying to throw out more ideas to make this harder on us. So.
No, I'm really enjoying this idea of basically telling them who we are and what we're hired to do. To a certain extent,
Right.
I think that what we were hired to do would be the public mission, not the private mission.
We don't tell them about having found all their dudes. I think that's a bad idea.
Or we could let them think that they have the better of us, just in case, and we tell them we were hired to bolster security, but we can be your moles on the inside instead.
We just act like we don't know about them.
Not knowing about the already existing pirates.
Yeah.
That way that'll put them a little bit more at ease because they think they still have the upper hand.
Right. So, but if I'm the pirates and I get this group of guys that comes to me and are like, we're gonna be your moles, and I already got moles, I'm just like, I don't need you. What's the counter to that?
We're moles with mechs.
What if I don't need mechs? What if I'm like, I got it covered? I got mechs coming out of my wazoo. I got so many mechs people want to steal.
You always need more mechs. Mechs are expensive.
I mean, that's true. What if not necessarily we have mechs? What if we're qualified mech pilots? We could increase your mech presence on the planet, and you could, I don't know, pull off more or
pull off more jobs, expand.
Yeah. I don't know if we tell them we have mechs though. I feel like that's probably, I don't know. Maybe they already know. Like I said, we haven't kept a low profile. We landed in a giant like dropship.
Didn't we have our mechs out as well?
Yeah, we showed up in mechs. So
yeah. So I mean, they know about that.
I don't know. I don't know what the right play is here. If there is a right play, to be honest.
I'd honestly vote. Maybe we should try to wing it.
What does that mean?
Terrible idea.
What does wing it mean? Don't have a plan at all?
Don't have a plan at all. Just show up in the meeting and go, hey, what's up?
Yeah, that is a terrible idea.
I mean, it's we just go wing it, hope for the best, or we just keep trying to.
I think we should go plan 3.
If that happens in character, Butch turns to whoever's in charge in this room and says, "Don't ever promote this man. It's a huge mistake."
I'm just saying, it's like we're just wasting a whole bunch of time.
That would be me.
We're just wasting a whole bunch of time talking about this and not doing it.
Yeah, I think we should go with plan C.
Okay, the triple cross. That's what we're gonna shoot for here.
All right, good.
Semi triple cross.
Okay, I guess.
All right. Meanwhile,
or the double triple cross, where we also tell them that the security chief and his wife are planning on double crossing them, and we figured it out.
Let's just go with the triple cross and not make it complicated. All right.
Banditos
just flood them with.
I'm being realistic with what we can do.
Keep straight.
We're not good at this, guys.
I feel like you guys might be the ones who don't keep it straight. I'm literally seeing a thing where in the middle of the bandit meeting, you're going to be like, stop, out of character. Which play were we going with?
Let's just go with the triple cross.
Okay.
Which one was the triple cross?
Works.
All right. At the end of your meeting, Staff Sergeant Butch McGurk, you have a request for a meeting from Second Lieutenant Rex Muehlner, who is the head of the infantry platoon.
Oh, God, this douchebag. Okay.
It says at your earliest convenience.
Oh, okay.
Come see
I-
me.
I don't go see him then. I'm gonna wait like a day.
Do we cut to 1 day later then?
Yes,
No,
one day
you
later.
find him at his most inconvenient time, right? You
12
wait a couple
hours
of days,
later.
Yeah.
wait
When
like a
he's on the
day,
shitter.
and just like find him his most inconvenient time.
Yeah.
All right. When you find him, he stands just outside of comfortable speaking distance from you, and awkwardly has you stand at attention for a few moments before finally returning your salute, and says, "Staff Sergeant,
Lieutenant.
I have something I need you to get the men trained in.
Okay.
Here's a list."
I reach for the list.
All right.
But then when he lets go of it, I don't grab it. I just let it fall to the ground. Oh, let me get that for you, sir. And I reach down and pick it up.
Do we have
I
a
look-
problem, Staff Sergeant?
Yes.
Do we have a problem, sir?
I feel like your answer to that question was insubordinate. I'm willing to let it slide, though. Done a good, acceptable job. I would say acceptable. Good is not a term I would apply to you. Passing.
Fight.
Staff Sergeant, can you accomplish these objectives?
I'll look at him. What are they?
He wants you to have all of the infantry trained in specialist anti-mech warfare. So now
No,
that
see,
they're
I think
training,
what happens is I don't actually look at him. I just hold the piece of paper up kind of near my face, but I continue to stare at him. Like I'm breaking eye contact. No, yes, sir. I can take care of this for you.
I feel like Bandito is with the lieutenant with like a pair of binoculars. Just like, so how much you want to bet he's going to punch him at some point? Sarge, you want to punch him?
No, he won't do that. Although I do have a feeling I should probably speak to this lieutenant if he's being disrespectful
I
to
don't know who's the one
my
being
people.
We're saying, I don't know who's being the one disrespectful too.
while you guys are talking, the two of them are still just staring at each other.
Staring at each other. I don't have any problem with that,
Staff Sergeant McGurk,
Lieutenant.
drop and give me 100, and then you will be dismissed.
I walk off.
Oh my god! Holy shit! All right.
I walk off and I drop his list on the ground.
Oh shit.
McGurk works
Oh,
for
that didn't
me,
look
not
good.
you.
This dude is not in my chain of command. This lieutenant can go fuck himself. You could train these dudes
Oh, that
himself.
didn't look good.
Oh god.
I go above and beyond making sure his troops know how to do their job. If you can't appreciate that, oh my god, you're gonna activate real life. He's gonna tell this second or first lieutenant or whatever he is with however many single digit years of experience that he has.
Is this guy a second lieutenant or first
He's a
lieutenant?
second lieutenant.
Excellent.
He can eat a dick.
Just
And I will
like
have my chain of command
So-
inform
so
him
just
that he is
like-
never to speak to me again.
McGurk isn't in his chain of command, you're not in his chain of command.
Dude, what?
Sid is like, I'm gonna destroy this guy. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
The same situation applies from the other direction.
No, but he can get all as pissy as he wants, but
Yeah.
McGurk is in my chain of command.
Right.
He
No one's
reports to
contesting
me,
that.
not to this lieutenant.
No
So
one is
this
contesting
lieutenant
any of
can
those
go fuck
things.
himself.
Yeah, that's what
Well, if
he
he has
Uh,
a problem with it, he'll have to come to me.
So the lieutenant stands there awkwardly for a few moments, looking at the piece of paper, then turns and walks away, and like pulls out his military communicator and just starts making notes.
That's fine.
I think they're best friends.
I go
What do you
and
think?
I document it as well. I just document everything that happened, everything that was said, how I felt that I was
It's just court-martial folder. Is that what you got going on?
Yeah.
Defense against
Defense,
future
yeah.
lawsuits.
I'm sure they're best.
I haven't done
friends,
any- I have-
probably,
look, that was
maybe.
not a lawful order, so
Yeah.
I'm totally in the right in this particular situation. I'm not always or seldom am I, but in this particular situation I am. This dude's trying to flex his junior commissioned officer muscles on me, and I'm having none of it.
I mean, just wait till the warrant officers show up.
Oh, those guys will totally be on my side. Warrant officers don't give a fuck.
Chief Petty Officer.
They're like
Probably you speak.
They're like the
sound like you
cool-
speak from experience.
Warrant officers on a first name basis with everybody. Like, hey Jerry, how's it going today? Like nothing to beat Minesweeper twice.
I feel like that's real army dialogue, right? I was
Were
just
you
gonna
asked
say,
this
beating
at some
Minesweeper
point?
twice is pretty impressive.
Warrant officers are the chillest motherfuckers in the entire United States military.
I think that might depend on which branch you're talking about, since their duties can vary heavily.
I mean, yes, their duties, but they're all specialists.
Yes.
So they all stay in the single field that they work in. So they're the perfect. I guess I know you probably already know all this, but I guess anybody who's not familiar with warrant officers, they're this ghost that's like in between.
Yep.
Commissioned officer, non-commissioned officer, or non-commissioned officer being like a sergeant. So they receive like the best of both worlds. They technically have the commission that gives them the on paper authority, but then they also have all of the real life experience that gives them the credibility of actually being like good at their job and knowing how to do shit. So basically nobody ever gives a warrant officer crap about anything. So if you lived your entire life while nobody ever gave you a hard time, you'd be a pretty happy person. So like all warrant officers are just like, I can't be promoted out of my job. I do what I love to do every single day. Nobody ever gives me a hard time. The people below me treat me like I'm one of them. The people above me treat me like I'm one of them. Like life is good. They're like, I don't know, they're the Point Break surfers of like the military world. Like they don't always get haircuts. They usually walk around in like flight suits. They don't give a shit about
That's because
anything.
most warrant officers are helicopter pilots.
Yes, in the Army. I mean, yeah. So a lot of the
Yes.
ones I'm talking about are either mechanics, which means they're in jumpers anyway, or they're pilots. But both of them. There's administration warrant officers.
Oh yeah.
There's special forces warrant officers.
I mean, Chief Petty Officers. There's lots and lots of them.
Yeah. And they're all cool. I've never
an
met.
NCO. That's an NCO in Navy. Chief Petty Officer?
Are you
Yeah.
sure? I thought it
Yeah,
was a warranted
that's-
rank for the Navy.
No, that's not a warrant.
Navy ranks don't make any sense to me. It's another
Navy
language.
ranks have the weirdest amongst.
Listen, if you can have a
all of them.
captain of a ship who isn't a captain in a rank, it gets really confusing from there.
so-
Well, a captain
Because
is
you
a
still
colonel.
call them a
Admiral.
captain even though they're not a captain.
Yeah, no, it gets really, really
It's
confusing.
it's like we don't.
And then you
try to
transport
memorize.
other people who are ranked captain in different branches on board that ship.
Yeah, because a captain in the Navy is like a colonel in our
Yeah,
it's
it's a
fucking
full
weird.
bird colonel. Yeah.
So
Then there's
Yeah,
admirals, which are like generals or something.
warrant officers are
Commodores.
cool shit.
Yeah.
I've never met a douchebag warrant officer. And I've met most of the different kinds of warrant officers.
Man, we're so far afield of where we're supposed to be.
Sorry.
We got 5 minutes before the break if we want to have anything happen between now and then.
I got nothing.
I probably want to get that black spot removed from my record.
You want to execute operation? Is this military rank theory? Yes, it is. That's actually exactly what it was. You want to execute Operation Legal Battle?
Slightly, yes.
All right, I'm gonna roll to see what happens. Paralegal is not skilled at his job because he's a paralegal.
You know you can press R to roll.
I know, but I like rolling. Oh fuck, he fucks up real bad.
Oh fuck.
All right, so this is what happens
Made it worse.
over a few days, right? You start submitting all this paperwork to the local city council, and you contact the planetary government. At some point, the sergeant just completely takes over your case, and then on the last day of May, all of you are called onto the ship for a special emergency briefing.
Okay.
You're all expected to show up in Class A dress uniform.
Jesus Christ.
This
Shit.
can't be good.
Oh god.
This can't be good at all. All right.
Butch's Class A uniform is immaculate. Like,
Yeah. Same with Banditos.
Mm-hmm. Same
Uh,
It's
if
all
he
about
could
the
get-
protocol. So
You'll wear the formal hat unless you can get a Class A cowboy hat, which I doubt it.
Your XO and operations officer, First
That'd be
Lieutenant
great.
Crystal Loft, has like a big holoscreen set up in the infantry drop bay so that everyone can see
Oh,
what's on
no.
the news. And it's just like Dr. Sean Goldhirsch. Who is he? Local government investigating Yakuza connections after legal battle reignites on the courthouse steps. And it's Blake Howe in his military uniform, not in a lawyer's suit, like arguing with a dude, and they start punching each other, and they get in a fist fight outside the court, and they're both like screaming in Latin phrases. And the local on-scene reporter is just like, can these mercenaries really be trusted to keep their tempers cooled? We have additional information coming in. Apparently, several bars have blacklisted the mercenaries, and it begins putting up photos. It's Deathwish and Bandito and Heavy 7. They're like, these men have been involved in illegal gambling games, and apparently some of them have been rumored to be using illegal drugs on local citizens.
That'll increase our credibility when we meet the bandits.
Yeah.
I hadn't drugged anybody. That was pure alcohol.
Here's what happens.
Next time, remind me to do my own lawyering shit.
You hear the sound of the remote break in Crystal's hand. As she's just
we're in
like,
trouble.
do you believe that this is acceptable behavior for officers of this unit?
No, ma'am.
All members of this unit are confined to base and are to be in military uniform at all times. Staff Sergeant McGurk, make it happen.
I will make it so.
Staff Sergeant McGurk, I feel like the men have far too much time to go out and cause trouble. I would like you to work up an exercise plan for your lance. Something to challenge their physical fitness.
This is the XO, right?
Yes. Have it on my desk by tonight.
Ma'am, I'm no longer working with the infantry platoon.
She's just like, what?
What's his name? Lieutenant Rain.
Second Lieutenant Rex Milner.
Lieutenant
Yeah,
Dan.
he's standing there. When you say that, he's like, what?
Lieutenant Milner has taken upon himself to relieve me of my responsibilities involving the infantry platoon.
She's just like, that's great. I want you to work up a plan for your personal lance of Mechwarriors.
Done.
If they have enough time to
No problem.
destroy our credibility on planet, I feel like they have enough time to do several laps around the beach while carrying heavy backpacks.
I couldn't agree more.
Fantastic, McGurk. I look forward to observing your progress every day for the rest of your existence.
I look forward to watching you watch me, ma'am.
Are you sassing me, McGurk?
Oh, God.
Do you feel sassed, ma'am?
Oh my God. It's like a whole bay full of people trying to pretend that they aren't witnessing this conversation.
Oh, shit.
Staff Sergeant McGurk, after you submitted that plan, I would like you to take a look through the textbook we've provided on military etiquette.
Isn't she also a piece of shit lieutenant? Also, like, there's not a single person that's a 03 or above this entire unit.
She's a first lieutenant.
Oh,
Remember, it's a company-sized unit, and there's only one captain. So,
I mean, she just gets the thinnest sliver of additional respect than a second.
she moves in front of you and is like, executive officers are here not to be loved, Staff Sergeant. They're here to keep discipline inside the unit.
Doing a great job, man.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I live for your approval every day of my life. Stop talking, Staff Sergeant McGurk. That's an order. I want you to read that textbook on military etiquette by the end of the night. Have your plan submitted to me before midnight.
I'm gonna submit it so good, ma'am.
I told you to stop talking, Staff Sergeant.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'm feeling that report is going to come in at 11:59. He's like, he finished it at like 9:30 and just waits. Sends it on an auto send.
She just stands there looking at McGurk for a while.
I mean, he just stands there too. He's not going anywhere.
Pros Black, you're dismissed for the day. Carry out your duties.
Can I is she in uniform also?
Yes.
Is there some kind of role I can do to find a discrepancy on her uniform?
Yes. Career soldier.
Career soldier.
Okay, I have if someone could roll that for me, I have a +4.
I'll do it.
A 9 is a 13. Yeah, there is one small discrepancy. It involves her listing herself as a aerospace pilot when she's technically a dropship captain.
Okay.
She's using the wrong like flight wing on her collar. Other than that, everything is perfectly immaculate.
Okay. I'm gonna wait and get her in one-on-one.
All right.
I'm gonna, and I'll kind of like, I'll respectfully pull her to the side, and I'm gonna have a talk with her and be like, "Man,
All right. When you start pulling away, she's like, "My order for you to not talk to me is still in effect, Staff Sergeant. So I hope you're very good at hand signals."
he thinks for a moment. What's so like this uniform? It's a Commonwealth uniform.
No, so your mercenary unit just uses like the generic mercenaries unit uniform. You know, like
It's fatigue. Like,
yeah. I honestly don't know that there's a real world. Well, kind of just like a generic American military uniform, because that's what all the PMCs use in real life, and that's really the only analog we have. But of course, it has all of her stuff from when she was in the Commonwealth as a naval officer.
Okay, then he's gonna get real with her. He's gonna be like, "Man, with all due respect, good military order and decorum supersedes whatever petty business is between you and I. I know you don't like me, and you don't think I'm very professional, and you don't like the way that I talk to you, and you think I'm disrespectful, and all of that is fine and valid. But you cannot deny my effectiveness at this job, which is exactly why you asked me and put me on the task to put everyone back on track to take our asses out of the fire. So from person to person, you understand that my military experience doubles yours. And while you may make a bigger paycheck and you have shinier pips on your collar, it would behoove you to find a way for us to work more amicably together, because I make this unit better. And I know you don't approve of my methods, but you do approve of my results."
Staff Sergeant, my issues with you are rarely professional and almost entirely personal in nature.
I understand. So, as a career soldier that has been doing this for a very long time, the epitome of professionalism is to separate your personal whims and your professional duty. And
Staff Sergeant, whatever comes out of my mouth, you can assume that the captain is 100% behind this. And I assure you, he has more experience leading a military unit than
that doesn't invalidate anything that I just said.
I don't disagree with any of that, except for everything you've said.
So we're just going to continue to be children then.
She's just like, one of us will be, yes.
What's your end game here? Are you looking to get rid of me?
So she side-eyes you and is like, if I could get rid of the whole lance of Mechwarriors, I would. We would keep the doctor, though.
And what would that leave you with?
3 mechs.
And?
A spot for 3 more Mechwarriors.
A saddlebag full of debt? Look, I get that you don't like me or maybe any of my fellows other than the doctor. But if you continue to assign me these fool's errands, you will be finding yourself a new mech warrior. I don't have any desire to work in a unit that is going to put me in a position to waste time based on one individual's personal hangups. So that's not a unit I want to work for. And you can tell the captain I said that.
I feel like we need to make a check here. I want to say it's a negotiation check, although it isn't involving money. That is the like go-to persuasion.
I mean, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at anything, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean,
My negotiation is a -5.
oh my god.
I mean, this actually sounds more like a career soldier because he's
I'll
drawing
take
from
that.
his experience
I'll take
as
that.
a sergeant
All right.
to
I just
argue
feel like,
this.
look, lieutenants, first, second, or otherwise, I don't know. You know, the military is full of lieutenants that
Your
treat
career
all
soldiers
enlisted
are all
soldiers like
right.
trash.
It's a 5.
But the
You got an
military is
11.
Fair,
the military is also full of junior officers that know that they should shut the fuck up and listen when a senior NCO talks to them because they have way more experience and knowledge about most things than they do. But like I said, the military is also full
So,
of.
on the other hand, the Lyran Alliance is explicitly famous for having lieutenant level officers who are
They're
completely
crap.
and utterly incompetent. They're called the Social Generals, which actually used to be an independent rank. They would grant it's like a knighthood nowadays, right? They would grant famous
Yeah.
and wealthy people the rank of Social General, but then those people wanted to actually run military units and got integrated into the Lyran Command. Yeah, so she is looking over your criticism and staring at you and just like, Staff Sergeant McGurk, I am privy to
Lieutenant.
details of the unit operations. You are not. And while I can appreciate your wealth of experience in running this unit at a ground level, your entire lance has been extremely troublesome. Our problems between us are personal, and I don't want to have to treat you, all of you, like your children. And I would rather not assign you to run around a beach for the rest of your life. But if that's what it takes in order to enforce unit discipline, I will. If you can show me any measure of improvement over the next few days, I will begin to rescind some of these punishments. And they are punishments for the incompetence of the entire unit.
Your unit.
I am the executive officer of this unit.
So what is your level of responsibility in this?
Oh boy, I actually don't know the answer to that question, Rad.
It's 100%. You're 100% accountable for your troops. You're responsible for all the operations in this unit. So my suggestion to you, ma'am, is that I see you at 0500 in the morning in your PT clothes. Now, obviously, I can't tell you to do that. I have no power or authority to make you do that. But if you want to begin to build the credibility that senior officers in the military possess, then you will show that you are willing to be as accountable as those that you hold accountable.
You want to
Now
go
that's-
toe-to-toe with me, Staff Sergeant? Very well. I'll see you out on the beach at 0500 tomorrow morning.
Well, I was asking you to go hand in hand with me, but if you want to make it toe and toe, that's fine.
So she's like, why don't we
There
make
you-
it interesting?
There you go again, being unnecessarily adversarial.
Why don't
Trying
we
to get
make it
you-
interesting, Sergeant?
Oh, okay, well, let's fucking make it interesting.
I understand you're something of a martial arts expert.
I've been known to
To dabble.
just
Been known
swing
to
a couple of
dabble?
roundhouses now and again.
How would she put this? I don't have anyone of equivalent rank or capability that I would be able to fight. Like, I feel like maybe Harridan raises his hand in the background and she's like, I'm pretty sure I'd kill Harridan in a one-on-one fight, even with the training gloves on.
Harridan is actually fairly reasonably decent at martial arts.
You can dish it out, he just can't take
He
it.
just
Yeah.
can't take it.
Hey, I raised my bod to 2. I'm same
Yeah.
with the sergeant, so
I'm a free martial arts from the rank.
I'm pretty good at martial arts as well.
I'm just saying, what's it going to look like if the XO keeps driving away skilled and capable enlisted soldiers? It's not going to look good for you. And I'm looking for us to get on the same page. If you want me to institute some sort of bracketed tournament where you can get involved with martial arts and gain some credibility, we'll do a combatives training.
No, Sergeant, we're going to do some training exercises tomorrow morning.
I'll set it up.
And I believe, how about next week, you can teach me some of your martial arts, and we'll see how I do on the pad.
So, for clarity, to acquiesce to your request here, I'll try to find a different word. I couldn't. Instead of running, gonna institute.
No, she wants to do the running. Just to be clear. You're like, you need to build unit credibility with the enlisted by
she's
showing
gonna
you're
run with us?
capable. Yes, she's going to be
Okay, all right.
the run with you.
So I propose,
but she's
training...
also low key challenging you to a fight.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna propose a physical training regiment to include a daily run and intensive combative training, and you can show up, and we can.
So you're going to give her the chance to pummel all of us.
We can stand in the circle of death, you and I, at any point that you want during that. And you will absolutely, it'll be a win-win for you. If you lose,
I'm not going to be fighting. I'm going to be the one freaking fixing your jaw.
No, you'll be fighting too.
You'll be fighting.
You're
I know, I'm just messing. I'm still going to have to fix somebody's jaw if you get me.
Probably. If you lose,
if it's your first day, you have to fight.
Still talking to the lieutenant. If you lose, everyone will be really impressed that you were willing to participate. And if you win, I mean, I'm sure you'll be happy if you win. So I don't give a shit.
Question: what's their martial arts level?
I mean, have you seen her fight?
No, we don't have any idea. Arthur's making it up right now. He's like, "What's yours? 5? Here's a 6."
Here's a 6.
No, what I'm looking for is the type of martial arts that you can take.
I didn't find types, and I really regretted saying Muay Thai. I definitely want
Then I know
want it to be way more barroom.
Yeah.
Basically
Roadhouse.
Basically be a
Roadhouse.
WWE wrestler.
You want to be like Rapier, your new buddy.
I guess. Have you ever you'll have to Google Don Fry.
I don't know.
Don Fry?
I don't know if you're familiar with Don Fry.
I am.
That's probably how Bush McGurk fights.
I mean, we got to look at how you fought at the alleyway when you stole 500 credits from that dude that you beat up.
The doctor does
reclaimed.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever.
The doctor just Chun Kun Do.
It's all going to be recirculated anyway, so it's the same. Goes the same place.
And if you don't know what Chun Kun Do is, it's Chuck Norris's branded style of martial arts.
Sounds legit. All right, I'm done with this conversation. If she's done with this conversation.
Yeah, she's done with the conversation. She still wants you to finish all of the other things she assigned to you, however.
Yeah, I probably won't. I would say that to her.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh brother.
Instead, what I do is I go into like military leadership theory, right? There's like all kinds of manuals and stuff that are written about the theory and the implementation of military leadership, and I find all of the excerpts that describe and educate on how to reprimand soldiers at like appropriate levels, and I send her like a dissertation on basically praise in public and reprimand in private.
Listen, Rad, you might have to
Here's
send
how
that
you
to
chew
me
people out.
because I don't know how to do those things.
Okay.
As a game master, I don't know how to do those things.
Basically, I teach her how wrong she was to publicly punish the unit by assigning them a bunch of running and stuff in front of like the command structure. It's super unprofessional, and every single manual says that you don't punish someone in front of their subordinates.
Oh,
right?
She punished the whole unit.
But she punished him specifically, right?
Yes.
So that's what she gets. She doesn't necessarily get what she asked for. She gets a long with like cited notations from all sorts of, because being an NCO, McGurk is like, you know, he knows the regulations like super thoroughly. So he sends all the regulations on how to discipline somebody correctly, and so she can recognize how wrong she did it and how bad it actually made her look. Like she was trying to make him look bad, but she really just demonstrated her total lack of leadership ability.
All right. I feel like when we get back, because we
and there's a handwritten note that's like, "You're wearing the wrong wings, you dumb bitch." No.
Oh my God.
And then like the last page is the uniform manual, the page that's like with like highlighted section.
Is it the military etiquette book she told you to read?
Yeah, but it's not the parts she told me to read. It's just the uniform page that's like, her wings were wrong.
Excellent. We'll be back for the second half. I'm gonna say 7 minutes, but these people that are in this group don't know how to count time, so it'll be more like 10. So let's pretend it'll be 7 minutes, and time will tell what it actually is. When we come back, intense montages of running and then martial arting. Stick around.